This is Mr. Craig Aaron.
All right, hello, puppets. So, I want to make sure these people up here can hear all of you. So, can you make some noise? All right. So, it's such an honor to be here today, to be able to see everybody marching down here to bring my 2-year-old, who I think is crying now, but he wore his Cookie Monster costume. He made it almost the whole time. And it's so good to be able to be up here and say, you know, I'm pro-puppet, and I vote. And I'm pro-early childhood education, and I vote. And I'm pro-independent journalism, and I vote. And I am pro-public media, and I vote. And I just want to give a huge shout out to these two guys who put this together, because they didn't even know each other. They met online, rapid response, and all of you and the hundreds of others who are here today turned out because of their work. So let's give them a round of applause. It is so great to bring together two of the things that I'm most passionate about: the future of public media and the power of organizing using the free and open internet. My name is Craig Aaron. I'm the president of Free Press. We're national, nonpartisan, nonprofit advocates for better media, and I'm thrilled to be here on behalf of our 500,000 members all across the country. At Free Press, we believe that investing in public media is essential not just to a healthier media system, but to a stronger democracy. And this fight isn't just about Big Bird. It isn't just about Morning Edition or the networks. It's about thousands and thousands of local community stations that would simply not be on the air without this funding. And this is about the tens of thousands of jobs that this funding helps support. So this is not the time to be talking about defunding public media. We got to talk about defending public media. And I think a lot of you probably wouldn't be here if Mitt Romney hadn't picked a fight with Big Bird during the debate. But looking around here today, I think he's starting to regret starting that fight. Because the people here and millions of people across the country are fed up with those guys up there and these presidential candidates playing politics with public broadcasting. An overwhelming majority of Americans, Republicans and Democrats, support public funding for public broadcasting. The surveys show they think it's the best use of their tax dollars than anything except for the national defense. You know, just the other day, there was this survey, public media has been in the news. They said to people, how much money do you think we spend? How much of the federal budget do you think we spend on public media? And then people said, I don't know, it's been in the news a lot, 5%. Now, we're here in Washington, so a lot of you probably know that 5% of the federal budget is about $190 billion. With a B. It's a lot of money. But here's the thing, even at those levels, the people in this survey, they said they supported funding for public media because it was that crucial to their lives. Now look, we spend a lot less money on public media. We spend about $440 million a year on public media. It works out to about $1.50 per person per year. You can't even get a cup of coffee for $1.50 anymore. But look, in Canada, they're spending $27 per person. In England, they're spending $87 per person. In the Scandinavian countries, it's something like $100 per person per year. So I just for a second want us to imagine what the American public media system could look like, how it could dramatically increase its reach and its relevance if we were spending as little as $5 per person per year. I mean, wouldn't you spend $5 a year if it meant that Big Bird didn't have to wear ads like some kind of NASCAR driver? I mean, wouldn't you spend $5 a year if it meant that you could hear more than the same 5 songs again and again and again on the radio? Wouldn't you spend $5 a year if it meant we could put 10,000 new journalists to work in local communities actually covering what happens there? I know I would. And we can do it because here's the thing, the money is out there and we're just spending it on other stuff we don't need. the plans are out there. We could easily find ways to redirect revenue and set up a public trust that would shield public media from the winds of Washington and the pressures of Wall Street forever. What we're missing, or what we have been missing, is the political will to do it. Now, there's some people out there will say, keep the politics out of public media. But we didn't make public media a partisan issue. We didn't make public media a political issue. It's the people that are attacking public media that made it a partisan issue. And we've stood up to them before. We've stood up to these bullies before. We stopped cuts in 1995. We stopped cuts in 2005. A lot of you were probably out here in 2011 when we delivered 2 million petitions up to Capitol Hill in support of public media funding and stopped cuts. And we can probably stop them again. I gotta tell you though, even though my colleagues and I were out here today passing out defend public media stickers, I'm getting a little tired of playing defense. I'm getting a little tired of having to fight over table scraps for public media. I'm getting a little tired of the politicians just paying lip service to this issue. I think it's time that we went on a little bit of offense. I think it's time that we looked at all of these attacks on public media that have happened over the last 15 or 20 years, and we look at what do they all have in common. What they all have got in common is that they lost, they failed. We're the ones, the people right here, we are the ones who are actually winning. The people right here, the fans of public media, we are the vast majority. We're the ones who can demand that all those politicians up there stop meddling with the funding for public media. We're the ones that can say, you know what, forget about cuts. What we need is to be spending much more on public media. And believe me, there are millions and millions and millions of people out there, hundreds of millions, who watch and listen and download public media every day. They're fans like you and me, and they vote. Now look, this event isn't just about what happens today, and it's certainly not just about what happens next Tuesday. It's going to be about what happens on the Tuesday after that, and the Tuesday after that, and the Tuesday after that. It's going to be about making sure that those people up there on Capitol Hill, whatever their party they're from, they're going to know that you're going to keep showing up. They're going to know that you're going to keep showing up in their offices. You're going to keep showing up when they're home in their districts. You're going to keep showing up in the voting booth. And you're going to come back and keep showing up right here if you have to until they listen to the American public and leave Big Bird alone. Because, look, when it comes to public media, we need real change, and we don't need more spare change. If you want real change, not spare change, you can't beg for it. And if you want real change and not spare change, you're going to have to stand up. If you want real change and not spare change, you're going to have to get involved. And if you want that real change, you're going to have to keep bringing this energy, this creativity, all this fun we saw here today to the long fight ahead. But that's a fight we can win. That's a fight we are already winning. So I hope you'll just, right here, so they can hear you up there on Capitol Hill, say it with me. Power to the puppets! 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 Thanks for being here.
Another little song. This is the one that's about Terry Gross. It's an electronic rock love song to Terry Gross of Fresh Air. So it's supposed to get you dancing and moving a little bit too, okay?